أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم من نفخه ونفثه وهمزه. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء المرسلين نبينا وإمامنا محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه وأزواجه وذريته ومن تبعهم بإحسان يوم الدين. أما بعد، اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. اللهم رب زدني علما نافعا وعملا صالحا. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. اللهم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. لا إله إلا الله ولا نعبد إلا إياه مخلصين له الدين ولو كره الكافرون. لا إله إلا الله ولا نعبد إلا إياه مخلصين له الدين ولو كره المشركون. رضيت بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد صلى الله عليه وسلم نبيا ورسولا. رضيت بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد صلى الله عليه وسلم نبيا ورسولا. رضيت بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد صلى الله عليه وسلم نبيا ورسولا. لا إله إلا الله وحده أنجز وعده ونصر عبده وهزم الأحزاب وحده. لا إله إلا الله وحده أنجز وعده ونصر عبده وهزم الأحزاب وحده. لا إله إلا الله وحده أنجز وعده ونصر عبده وهزم الأحزاب وحده. لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، له الملك وله الحمد بيده الخير يحيي ويميت وهو على كل شيء قدير. سبحان الله بحمده سبحان الله العظيم. سبحان الله بحمده سبحان الله العظيم. سبحان الله بحمده سبحان الله العظيم. سبحان الله والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله والله أكبر ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. سبحان الله بحمده سبحان الله العظيم. سبحان الله بحمده عدد خلقه ورضا نفسه وزنة عرشه ومداد كلماته. سبحان الله بحمده عدد خلقه ورضا نفسه وزنة عرشه ومداد كلماته. سبحان الله بحمده عدد خلقه ورضا نفسه وزنة عرشه ومداد كلماته. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله، وإن خير الهدى هدى محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة، وإنما توعدون لآت وما أنتم بمعجزين. ثم أما بعد، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Brother, do you want to come in the main hall? Today's talk, as you know, is on leadership of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Before I begin the talk, I would like to just give a brief introduction to this topic. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Baqarah, when He first willed, or His will was expressed in front of the angels about the creation of us as a human beings, as a creation, to be placed upon this surface of the earth, the earth we're in now. It was not willed by us. We did not will for us to be in this earth. It was willed by Allah Azza wa Jalla. So we were willed to be in this place, not by us, it was willed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the reason behind was also not given by us. So we did not will to be placed here, that was beyond our will, nor did we will the reason behind why we're here. Both of them were willed by Allah Azza wa Jalla. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made that very clear in that verse when He spoke to the angels. He says, وَإِذْ قَالَ رَبُّكَ لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ إِنِّي جَاعِلٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ خَلِيفَةً. And remember, i.e. O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so here Allah is talking about Muhammad. Muhammad now is upon the surface of the earth. Is a human being upon the surface of the earth. Remember, O Muhammad, when the beginning of you as a human were created, and the reason behind why you were created were mentioned in front of the angels. We don't inhabit the heavens. The heavens above us is not inhabited by us humans. It's inhabited by a creation called the angels. Below this earth, there's no other human beings inhabiting any other planets. There's no other planets or stars. Stars obviously we can't live in. It's impossible. But there's no other planets where there's other human beings living on them. The only place where human beings are living is upon the surface of this earth only. Every human being that came before us, billions of them, they are buried in this earth, not anywhere else. They all died in this earth, and they're all buried beneath our feet. Everything that we can attain in this life is on this earth also. There's nothing out there in the space for us to attain. Everything that can harm us is also on this earth. Everything that can give us death is also upon this earth. We don't inhabit any other place save this planet. The skies above us, there's another creation that inhabits it. And they are, we know them as angels. They were the first creations of Allah Azza wa Jalla. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke to them and said, I am going to place these human beings upon this earth itself. The angels straight away, they knew what the word Khalifa meant. They were aware what that word meant. And that is, Allah is going to leave this realm of this earth for us humans to have a say therein. Us humans. We'll have say therein in what grows in this earth, what is produced in this earth, what is extracted from this earth, what becomes resources, what doesn't, how we live and how we don't live. We will have a say therein. What we will in our hearts or apply in our minds, it will have direct effect upon the surface of this earth. If you look at the sky, your will doesn't reach it. If you look beneath the earth, your will doesn't reach it. If you will anything in the heavens, nothing will happen to it. Nothing whatsoever. If you will anything beneath this heaven, beneath this earth, nothing will happen. If a whole humanity comes together to will something in the heavens, nothing will happen. Nothing. Our will is limited to this earth. But there was a creation before us that was upon the surface of the earth, and they caused much mischief, imbalance amongst themselves, and worst was they spilled blood amongst themselves. So the word Khalifa had two fundamental meanings. The first meaning of the Khalifa is that they will become representative of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's will. They will become representative of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's will. That's the first meaning of Khalifa. Second meaning of Khalifa is that these human beings will live generation after generation. It's not in one go they'll come and one go they'll go. No, they will live generation after generation. Now Adam alayhi salam was that first human being. His body, physical body, was created from this earth. This earth. As for his soul, is created from the heavens. And they both came together to form a human being. That's why, because the soul is the essence of life itself, after this world is destroyed, we will live for eternity due to that soul. As our soul departs, soul doesn't die. Soul itself doesn't die. When we die, it's the soul leaving our physical body. That's it. That's what death is. As for soul itself, it doesn't die. In Qiyamah, we're given a body which is eternal. The soul, same soul, your same soul will go inside the body which is eternal body. That will live in the heavens, in Jannah inshallah, for eternity. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created Adam alayhi salam. The physical entities was from this earth itself, this planet. Soul was from the heavens. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the soul from the heavens. When the angels said this, that we are worshipping you freely, willingly, we are balancing the whole creation by our worship. Worship, what does it mean? I worship. What it means in a nutshell, that whatever you will of good that we are doing. Allah is good, and thereby He legislates goodness. Now, because the jinns had free will, and they had desires and whims, and they were given the same choice as us human beings, they caused corruption and spilled blood. The angels, out of our care, did not want us to be created so that we are not punished as the jinns were punished. Not because they didn't want us human beings to be created and not attain the pleasures and delights of this world and this life and the next. No, but because out of care of the punishment. They didn't want us to be punished. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala replied back saying, Inni a'lamu ma la ta'lamun. I know what you do not know. What does Allah mean here? I know what you do not know. I know these human beings. Amongst these human beings there will be great men. This is where leadership comes in. Amongst these human beings there will be great men and women also, who will lead humanity at large, by which with this free will, with the hawa, with the negative self, they are still will be able to be equal to the angels and higher. That's leadership, where you are able to focus your attention to the goal and attain it, even though there may be obstacles for you not to attain it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here spoke of leading men. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought these leading men out from the soul of Adam alayhi salam. He brought them out in front of the angel. He said, give me asma ha'ula. Inform me of the names of each of these great men. Now these great men, they're men like us. Yes, there are prophets afterwards, but the first and foremost, they are human beings like us. They were brought forth in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in front of the angels, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, tell me their name, tell me the characteristics, tell me about them and their greatness. The angels didn't know who they were, their characteristics and their greatness, obviously. Adam al-Islam knew, because these are his children. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala informed them of the names, the births, how long they will live, what they will do, what they will achieve, what they will attain, everything. See, leaders of humanity were born in the heavens before they were born in the mother's wombs. Leaders of us, they were born in the heavens before they were born in the mother's wombs. And that point is crucial, because only then will you realize that leadership is a necessity. Leadership is necessity. Why? Because we are social beings. We are social beings. We have to live with other fellow human beings. As soon as you are born within a family. You have a father, you have a mother, and you are a son, you are the daughter. You are a social being. You're not isolated. You just didn't drop down from the heavens as, hello, here, it's me. It's me, I, and myself. No. It's always we. You will not drop down from the heavens. You have a lineage all the way going back. Before there's a father, before there's a father, before there's a father, before there's a father, and all the way goes back to Adam alayhi salam. Whether you like it or not, whether you want it or not, whether you want to acknowledge it or not, doesn't matter. Reality is reality. Fact is fact. Whether you acknowledge the sun or not, doesn't matter. Whether you acknowledge the moon or not, doesn't matter. Whether you acknowledge this planet or not, doesn't matter. Fact is a fact. Reality is a reality. So you were brought down. And when Adam al-Islam came down to this earth, he came down as a family. He and his wife. So human beings by sheer nature, remember Adam was in the heavens, in Jannah. Physical Jannah, pleasures of Jannah was there. The angels were there. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is bonding with Adam, and Adam bonding with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was there. But yet he was in need. He was in need of a human being. He was needing another companion. He needed another physical human being in front of him. That's why one of my comments I said, if you take a human being who is the most beautiful human being in terms of looks, appearance, wisdom, everything, is complete, perfect human being. You take him as the best human being ever to exist. Take him. And on the opposite, he's a male. The opposite, you take a female human being, but the most dumbest human being ever to exist, or the other way around. You take the female, the most beautiful, amazing, wise, and so forth, and on the other side, the human who's a male is the most dumbest, the most ugliest, the most whatever. Yeah, it's the lowest of the lowest. Yet, if there was no other human being whatsoever on the surface of the earth, these two human beings will be the best of friends. Why? Because they are in need of each other. They are in need of that companionship. That most beautiful young man will think that dumbest female and the most ugliest female, he will take as the most beautiful human being ever to exist. And on the other hand, If she was the most beautiful and so forth, and was most wise, and he was the most ugliest looking man to ever to exist, she would take him as the most handsomest man ever to exist, most perfect man ever to exist. Why? Because he is human being. So we came down in this earth as a family. Now here's the question. Here's the question. Here where you to understand why leadership is important. Here's the question. Now these are the family, Adam and Hawa. Our lives, every day and every night, these are our lives. We have to do things inwardly and outwardly. Together or separately. Separately where the other person doesn't have a say. Together where we both can have a say. But the question is, who has the final say? Two individuals, separate things they're doing, that's fine. They can have the final say. But when they're doing two things together, both need this thing to be attained efficiently and perfectly. Who has the final say? Or does one has final say in one thing and the other has the final say in another thing? One day one has the final say in another day, another has the final say? Or do they decide one has a final say generally, unless it is the expertise of the other? There has to be that decision made. Anyways, it's generally agreed upon in Islam that generally the men have the final say, unless the woman is expert in that field. Generally the man has the final say, unless the woman is expert in that specific field. I don't want to go into the reasons why that is. Okay, because the reasons are so many. Wow. One reason is because men have more responsibility. Men are always responsible over women. Always. If their father, they're responsible of the daughter. If their husband, they're responsible of the wife. If their brother, they're responsible of the sister. If their uncle, they're responsible of the niece, uncle. Niece, come on, wake up, brothers. Husband, wife, father, daughter, uncle, niece. Yeah. So you see, they are in the responsible positions. And with responsibility comes the final say, because responsibility is with protection first, before attainment. Responsibility is to do with what? Protection first, then is to do with attainment. When you're responsible, you repel harm. First and foremost, your priority is to repel harm. Repelling harm in of itself is by necessity is attainment. Repelling harm by in of itself is attainment of benefit. I give you an example. It's very cold out there. Is that harm or not? That harm. What do you wear? Layers of clothes. That is repelling what of what? The cold. That in itself is an attainment, is a benefit. So by you repelling a harm, you attain what? A benefit. Is that clear? So repelling harm in of itself is attained by necessity, is by default, is attainment of benefit. Is that clear? You don't have to go out there, right, and have a fire to repel the cold. You don't have to do that. Just by wearing layers of clothes, you can warm yourself. And that's a principle across. Repelling a harm by necessity is the attainment of benefit. So responsibility first is to do with repelling harm. Then is to do with attainment of benefit. So for example, you repel the cold by wearing layers of clothes, that's repelling, you attain the benefit, and then you go and you do a campfire. Here you're attaining what? The benefit. You're not repelling the harm because you can't repel the cold with the fire. Cold is cold. What you can do is with that fire you can start cooking hot food by which you can repel the harm and attain the benefit at your level. So in a nutshell, men were made leaders. Women were made leaders within their responsibility. And I'll give another principle, it's an important principle. Leadership is tied with responsibility. Leadership is tied with what? If you're responsible, then you can be what? A leader. If you're not responsible, even if you're a man, you are not what? Leader. Some more. Number two, how much quality you have in fulfilling that responsibility, that will dictate how much authority you have in that leadership. Yeah? Important again, very important. How much what? How much quality you have in what? Fulfilling that responsibility, that will dictate how much what? Authority, how much level of authority you have. So anyway, Adam and Hawa Islam came as a family, and hence they were society, they had to be leaders, and so leadership is natural. It's a natural necessity of living as a human being. The prophets, all of them, they are born leaders. All the prophets, they were born leaders. Where were they born leaders first and foremost? Where? Here or in the heavens? Here.
Sorry.
They were born leaders in the heavens. They were born leaders in the heavens. So when they came here, when they were born, before the revelation came to them, they as themselves, they were born leaders. Meaning they had the characteristics of leading people to repel the harms of dunya and attain the benefits of dunya. With the wahi, they began to repel the harms of what? The next life. Jahannam. From death all the way to Jahannam, they are able to repel it. And then what? Attain the eternal benefit which is in Jannah. Eternal life. So not only are they leaders of this dunya, i.e. they can repel the harms from you in dunya and attain the benefit in dunya, they can also begin to repel the harms of the coming life and attain the benefit for eternity in the coming life for you and for all the humanity Allah. There's no way out for you. There's no way out for you in your eternal life except through the prophets. And there's no way for you to attain the greatest peaks of this dunya except through the prophets. All the resources of this dunya, people say, attain its peak. No, it's not. All the resources of this dunya is not yet given. It will be only given when the Muslims establish Islam fully, completely and perfectly. Then the resources of this dunya will open up. Heavens of the blessings of the heavens will open up. The resources of dunya will open up. And the Muslims will attain it. The resources of this dunya has not been attained. Has not been attained. It will only be attained by and through establishing the principles by which we human beings become greater in our greatness than the angels. You see? Where we balance this earth with the heavens. And now I'm going to go into the issue of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam because I don't want to get the talk too long. Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was a born leader. When he was given birth, his father passed away. Now, his father passing away, Abdullah, was that coincidence? Was that will? What do you think? Huh? Coincidence. It just happened. Muhammad's father passed away. Huh? Before he was born. The greatest man to walk on the surface of the earth for eternity. His father passes away. Is that a coincidence? Like, there's nothing behind it. What do you think? What is the wisdom behind it? Research has proven this. Today's research has proven that the child that has no father attains leadership quicker and better and higher and greater than the one who has a father. Research today has proven this. A child who has no father, from day one, he attains great leadership, right? Quicker, higher, yeah, greater. It attains it quickly, attains a higher position in leadership, and also greater. Is lofty, is great leader. Then the one who has a father. Okay, now reflect on Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's life. He was sent, as soon as he was born, he was sent to drink from the milk of Halima Sa'diyah. Do you think that was a coincidence? It just happened. The greatest man to be fostered by Halima Sa'diyah just happened, you know? You think that just happened? There's nothing behind it. Do you think so? The fresh milk is in the countryside. It's proven. That's why the elite of every country, they send their sons and daughters to drink from the countryside. Fresh. Everything fresh. Everything fresh which consumed at the baby. Again, research has proven that baby's health depends on how much she or he eats in his first few years of his life. On what she consumes or he consumes. Urban cities are always polluted. Always. Polluted. In terms of food and in terms of the air. Also in terms of illnesses. Health-wise. It was known in Mecca the children used to die. And that's why they used to send them away to Badiyah, to deserts. Why? Because the air is fresh. There's no diseases. There's no mixtures of people. There's not so many people mixturing, so different colors, different race, different environment, different cultures mixing. So Sallallahu had the fresh food. Sallallahu had the fresh air. What's the other thing? Sallallahu Bani Sa'd had. Who knows? Bani Sa'd had the most beautiful language of Arabic. They say how great your mind is depends on how great your language is. How great your mind is depends on how great your language is, because what you have here, if you can express it most executive way, most clear, crystal, beautiful, summarized, brief way, and also profound, that shows you have a great mind. So language dictates your greatness of your thinking, process of your thought that you have here. Language dictates it. That's why anyone you see who's wise and smart and successful, you find in his language there's depth. He may speak less, she may speak less, but there's depth in the words. There's structure in what they say. There's profound meaning. There's weight. And if they excel more, then there's beauty in the words. There's sweetness in the words. So now Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam had what? He had the best food, he had the best air, and he had the what? Best language. All the ingredients to become what? A great leader. This was before what coming down? Wahy coming down. These are the ingredients of becoming a great leader. Those who are young, who have brothers, young sisters, who have nephews or nieces, or who have become parents, concentrate on this. Make sure your children have fresh food. The more fresh, the more better. They will be healthy. You don't have to take them to hospital and doctors. They'll be healthy. Concentrate on not pollution. Take them out to countryside as often as possible. Take them out. Yeah. And lastly, make them articulate in the language. Make them become experts in expressing themselves. So when they struggle, when they're young, they're finding it difficult to express their feelings, express their emotions, express what they have in their mind. Take them to language classes. Teach them how to express. There's like one brother I can remember in Egypt. Everything is to say, that's so deep, man. That's so deep. He had only one expression to express everything, deep. And you find the street brothers like, it's so sick, so sick. For everything is like, it's so sick. Or other words, they have no other way to express. All they know is this one word that expresses like thousands of meanings and circumstances. Why? These are adults, like 20s, 30-year-olds, adult men, women can't express. Arabic language has, as you know, has the vast numbers of words, more than any other language. And then Bani Sa'ad had the best and most beautiful, eloquent language itself. So Sallallahu was able to express. That's why Quran, it was a final revelation. It came to Sallallahu found it easy to express, right? Because he had the best of languages with him already. Lastly, in the beginning years, Sallallahu also, in the desert, the lands are vast. You begin to see what more? The heavens on the earth. You begin to see the heavens more. I don't know if you guys have been to the countryside. If you go to the countryside, stare at the heavens. Watch what happens to you when you stare at the heavens. Go to the countryside now, whenever you have time. Drive, but there's no lights. Stare at the heavens. Watch what happens to you. You begin to realize, you know what, your pride, your arrogance, me, I, myself goes out the window. You begin to realize there's something greater than me. There's something greater than my life. Something more greater than this life itself. And that's when the question begins to stop. So Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam questioning of life and all of these things that you find in Iqra Bismi Rabbika Khalaq, did it begin, do you think, in the cave Hira? No. When did it begin? It began when he was in those deserts. Looking at the mountains, looking at the skies, looking at the people and observing. It was the beginning of the path for him to think and reflect and observe and ask critical questions to answer his soul, to answer his mind. Also, Sallallahu was brought back after 2 years, but Halima wanted him to take him back again. So Amina allowed her to take him back. He went and he stayed another 2 years until he was 4. 5, sometimes until he was 6. Yeah, the point is, he stayed more longer. Now imagine him observing the land, observing the skies, playing with sheep and goats. And goats and sheep, they play with babies. Baby goats and baby sheep, they play with baby children. And I don't know if you've seen it, but children at the age of 4, 5, they can ride on baby sheep and baby goats. I don't know if you've seen it. In Arab world, it's seen. These the beginning telltales of leadership is learnt by controlling something. beginning telltales of leadership is introduced by controlling something. So when you have a baby sheep, what does a baby sheep do? It looks for his mom, looks for his dad, goat, yeah? So the goats and sheep, the mothers, the fathers, they're out there grazing, but the babies are left where their tents are. Who looks after them? The children. Children give them grass and stuff like that. So they begin to control these baby sheep and baby goats. It's the beginning stage of learning. You want to make your child leader, give him a baby horse. Give him a baby horse. Give him a baby cow, a baby bull. Give him something live to control. Not a wooden horse to control. We give them wooden horses, wooden cows. Hell, no leadership will come up from that. Give them something live. Buy them a horse that they can go and visit. You can do in this country. Buy them a live baby horse, by which they feed, they train. You'll begin to see his leadership coming through. He's the owner of it. He's the master of it. After that, Sallallahu went back. Obviously, when Sallallahu father passed away, Abdul Muttalib was taking care of him financially. Abdul Muttalib was single-handedly, he was the leader of the whole Quraysh. Now remember, this is Mecca, center of the earth. This is Quraysh, inhabitants of, so Mecca now, center of the earth. Civilizations from across, Persian, Roman Empire, across, they would come to Mecca for various reasons, trade, various reasons. Chief leader of Mecca was Muhammad Sallallahu grandfather Abdul Muttalib. Chief leader. Muhammad Sallallahu is being directly taken care of by that chief leader. Now, a chief leader who comes to him, the Persian Empire, the Roman Empire, the Ethiopian Empire, everyone comes to him. How do you think he will take care of his nephew, his grandson, who's yatim? How do you think he will take care of him? And do you think that was a coincidence? There'll be more care, there'll be more attention, there'll be more love. This is his grandchild. And that's why, amazing, when Sallallahu was 7-8 years old, Abdul Muttalib used to have a sitting area next to the Kaaba, where he used to meet the guests from across the world, and they will sit, and he will sit first and then they will sit. No one was allowed to sit on that sitting carpet, beautiful carpet that was laid for him. Only Abdul Muttalib. He is the only one who can sit, and the guests who come. Muhammad, this is Muhammad at the age of 7-8. What he used to do, obviously his uncles used to be with him every time. What he used to do, look, this is Muhammad as a human, as a leader. What he used to do is to always go there and sit in the sitting where Abdul Muttalib is, exactly this place as Abdul Muttalib. Just go there and sit there like he's a leader. So his uncles used to come and take him away. Oh, what are you doing? You know, like, this is a place for your grandfather, you know. And again, he would do that and come back and sit. Imagine this is the Kaaba, it's like a playground for him, right? Kaaba is there, sitting area is there, just go around maybe, and he sees uncles, and just come back and sit in there. Like, I'm the chief. So Abdul Muttalib eventually saw this. His grandfather saw this. Muhammad coming and sitting. What did Abdul Muttalib say? He said to his sons, leave him, da'uh, leave him. Inna ibni hada lahu sha'nun azim. Leave him. See, he's a leader. You can see signs of leadership in this young man. He's not a young man, he's a young boy. Leave him, da'uh, for he will have a great status. Obviously, look at Abdul Muttalib, he used to take him with him where? Where? In his travels. Teaching him leadership. Teaching him trade from a young age. Sadly, we tend to not take our nephews and our nieces to places where we go and learn. You should. It's part of the development. It's a part of the most 60% of your production in your later life comes between the age of 2 to 7. Production you produce comes between the age of 2 to 7. 60% what you produce later on. 30 to 40% comes from the age of 7 to 14 and 15. And the rest, if you don't feel that years of learning and developing, these are fundamentals and foundations and average layers, the rest you're just filling them in. You're going back and you're filling them in. Abdul Muttalib is take in trade everywhere. And obviously the Christians, the learned men, they saw Muhammad ﷺ and they recognized him due to his jihad. The Prophet would sit at the back. Had like a sort of shape, mark at the back of his shoulder where that was our sign of him being Prophet. And also the look he had, they knew that he was a Prophet. So that's when they told him to look after Muhammad ﷺ. And obviously Abdul Muttalib knew, he saw his signs of intelligence, smartness, honesty and truthfulness. See, a child at the age of 2, 3, they begin to speak, right? Do you think Muhammad ﷺ ever lied at that age? What do you think? And if he didn't lie, do you think Abdul Muttalib didn't notice? His uncles didn't notice that this kid doesn't lie? Do you think they didn't notice? Now Muhammad ﷺ, he played, as a kid he played, right? Or he didn't play, just stood still? And he played. In the play you can tell if the kid is a leader or not. In the play you can tell. For example, does he initiate? Does he change the game? Is he a competitor? Is he want to compete? Does he dialogue when things are wrong or things are going wrong? Does he have a debate? Does he give in? Is he generous? All of these key characteristics of leadership can be found in a kid, in a child. Abdul Muttalib obviously is a leader, he knows. So what the Christian monks and learned scholars were saying, and what he found, connected it, and he knew this man, this young boy, would become a great leader. Afterwards, Prophet ﷺ, he began to take the sheep of the Quraysh and graze them, sheep and goats. Do you think that was a coincidence? Do you think that was a coincidence? Sallallahu later on said, there was no prophet except they took care of sheep and goats. Again, live, something live. Have you ever taken care of something live? Animal. Any of you? Huh? Cats. They're quite obedient, to be honest. You can leave them alone, they'll obey you. No, something a bit more aggressive. Like a horse, like a sheep, like a goat. Yeah. You learn. Why? Because you have to know them individually. You have to know them. You have to know the names and characteristics individually. Otherwise, they will not tend to you. They will not take you as your master. Sallallahu is to look after not only some sheep, he should look after hundreds of sheep. Hundreds of sheep. Every single day, take them out, bring them back. In Tarbiyah, sometimes I gave a khutbah on detail how looking after sheep has the ingredients, has the mechanism, has the process of making you a leader. Listen to the khutbah if you can. I don't go into too much detail in this too. In Tarbiyah, sometimes I gave the khutbah on it. He did this for years. And then, see, he was in the whole Quraysh, in the whole town. Imagine in the whole town, how many people are living in this whole town? Hundreds, right? Hundreds of people. In these hundreds of people, one man, and he's, at the time he's young, he becomes known as Sadiq al-Amin. For you to be even known in your family, it takes how many years? For you as you to be known in your own family, even if you have the best characteristics, how long does it take you? Huh? It may take us lifetime, right? Then to be known within his relatives, neighbors. Then for him to be known within the society. Then for the people to speak about, let alone give them title at the end of the day, just to speak about it. Then to agree on the title, then to label that title given on him single-handedly. How many years would it take normally? Your whole lifetime. Rasulullah attained it within what? Few years. So that means he had to be doing something so extraordinary that the whole people came together to name him as Sadiq al-Amin. Question, do you think that was a coincidence? Do you think that was coincidence? That his son had become Sadiq al-Amin. And remember, Muhammad, as being Muhammad now, did he know he was a prophet? Did he know he will be a prophet? So how was he acting? At first, as a human. Normal human. He was just behaving like a normal human. So the best of the human, he was enacting. You know, when they did research on leadership, they asked over thousands of people, East, West, Middle East. In 1980 they did the research, and in 2009 they did the research. In 1980, 70+% said, when they were asked what's the greatest characteristics of a true leader, 70+% said honesty and trustworthiness. In 2009, when they were asked the same question, 80+% said honesty and trustworthiness. I will translate honesty and trustworthiness. How do you translate it? As-Sadiq al-Amin. As-Sadiq al-Amin. So do you think today we're doing the research and verifying that the true leader, this is the first characteristic to have, and 400 years ago that was the first characteristic the whole town gave to Muhammad. And don't think the whole town, they were envious of Islam from day one. They were envious of him. Why not? Because he was from Bani Hashim, and Bani Hashim and other Quraysh tribe, they were envious. They were envious of each other. Naturally. And then, this is the big thing. This is the big thing. So he was taking care of people's needs. He was there for people. He was always, his inner fitra and aql was dictating the khair of humanity, and he was leading and he was perfecting it. But then look what happened. The town, because he was doing business, he started a business by then. Because he was doing business and he was achieving great in business, this is the beginning of stage of learning of economics, how economics work. The whole town, the Quraysh, they began to give their load to him, make him in charge. So imagine your neighbor comes, the next door person comes, the other comes, he goes, I give you £1,000, I give you £2,000, I give you this much, I give you that much. Take that money, invest, and bring me a profit. Or take these goods and bring me back profit. So now Sallallahu is the main leader, while he's taking hundreds of camels with goods, and also he's taking money. Well, to invest or trade to sell and bring back. How much experience will he have? And every time he was going there, and every time he was coming back, he was returning with manifold of profits. How skillful person would he be? That's why people who say that you can't be good in the society is false. You can't be good. Or you all say, people have this notion that if I'm good and people around me bad, I can't be good. That's nonsense. Prophet ﷺ was good, people around him were bad. Trade is all bad. Yet, he was able to not only do good, perform good, but perfect it, and people acknowledged it. When he went and traded, in trade, full of nonsense, lies goes on, but yet went alone, without revelation, without any lie, without any cheat, without any deception. There's profiting. So this notion that we have, if we be good, the world is not good, they will cheat you, they will deceive you, they will eat you up alive, it's rubbish, it's nonsense. Just another whisper of shaitan to make you stay away from the society, so the society can go more wrong and more wrong. And then they can have authority over you in their wrong while you isolate yourself. So it's about going out with your ethics and morals and values, going out and influencing others with patience and sacrifice, with generosity, with smile, with laughter, but at the same time with assertiveness. And then when he came back at the age of 25, listening and hearing about him, everyone was talking about Muhammad. Imagine this young man, age of 25, known as the honest person, the trustworthy one, handsome, beautiful. At the same time, his character defines him as the perfect human being, and he's a tradesman, successful tradesman. Which woman would not want to make him her husband? Khadija, she must have been so beautiful. Firstly. Secondly, she was wise, obviously we know. Thirdly, she was well off. So even though she was 40 years old, she must have looked very young. So age didn't matter. To her, she knew that. Otherwise, which woman, as a widow, which woman, as a widow, would give proposal to someone 25 years old, who also is well known in lineage, in beauty, also wealth, and character? Wouldn't it be shameful if he refused her? Don't you think? It became widespread known. Khadija proposed and Muhammad refused. So she had to be very, very confident of herself, of who she is. When she gave the proposal, Sallallahu accepted it straight away without even thinking about it. That shows Khadija was who she was. In terms of she was young looking, even though her age was 40. And there are men and women out like that, where the age might be quite old, but when you look at them, they're very young. They look very young. At the age of 25, she married. I'll end with this, obviously the talk, there's so much to talk about, inshallah. I might do a part 2 another time. When eventually Sallallahu was going to the mountains of Mecca and worshipping Allah, here no revelation came, but he concluded there is a supreme being, one being, with his aql and with his fitrah. Because his fitrah and aql led him as a perfect human being. Now that mountain, Cave Hira, do you think he just found it like that? He just found it, just one day saw it and that's it, he's going to go in there. Or do you think he was taking the sheep, so when he was taking the sheep, he was wandering about these mountains, looking at them, which one's higher, which one's more bigger, which one's more stronger? Do they have caves? Yeah? And he found it. So it was not, nothing was coincidental. Everything was planned. And Sallallahu him as a human being utilizing his human nature to come to find out the reality of matters. So he began to worship. He began to worship Allah. Months after months he began to worship Allah. What? With revelation? No. There's no revelation. But he was maybe pulling all of his head and body on the ground and saying praiseworthy words to Allah Azza wa Jalla in Arabic language. Could have been Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah by the meaning of it. Then the revelation came. And then when he went to Khadija thinking that he was going mad and insane, Khadija spoke in a nutshell of his great qualities. Great qualities. And they are all qualities of an honest, trustworthy, great man, great human being. If you want to create leadership in yourself and your children, concentrate on those characteristics Khadija said. What were they? You take care of the oppressed. When someone's oppressed, you're the first one to go and help and assist. Seeing your kids, if someone's being bullied, is he or is she the first one to go and stop that bullying? If they are, they're a leader. Second, if anyone needs any assistance, any help, like picking up things or just they're finding it difficult to do something, is there. And Khadija said, like, people are trying to pack the bags or pack on the camels, he's there. He's there to help them. So if they are traveling or they are coming back from travel, he's there, he's unloading it or he's loading it. He's there to help. So from bigger help like oppression, establishing justice, to the minute of helps, giving hand, is there. Taqiyul Dayf. When guests arrive in the area, he's the first one to take them. See of your child, when guests and families come, does he isolate himself or does he welcome them and take them and play with them and initiate the play? He's generous to all of them. He's aware. If he has that, he's a leader. If he doesn't, if they don't, train them. Train them with his characteristics. Train yourself with these characteristics. They need to become natural. They need to become natural. If you don't have those characteristics naturally, train it. 98% of leadership is attained by training and practicing. 98% of leadership is attained from training and practice. It's not born given. 2% of leaders are born. 98, from 96 to 98%, they attain leadership through practice. Prophet ﷺ, even though all the prophets, they were born leaders in the heavens, Allah trained them practically through qadr and then through taking care of sheep and goats, and then through trade and the professional within the society. Taqiyul Dayf, you take care of the guests. In those, you find generosity, you find initiativeness, you find bravery, you find the human greatness in all of these great characteristics you find in those what Rasulullah was doing. And that's why Rasulullah was fit to receive the revelation, because he as a human proved that he deserved to be the prophet first, and then he as a human proved that he deserves to be the final prophet. We forget, this was proof from himself, for us and for humanity. So no one can say Allah chose him without any measures, or Allah chose the prophets without any measures. No. Allah made them prophets. He knew who will be the prophet, but He made them first human beings. They had to win that prophethood. Yes. They were measured. Yes. They attained it. Yes, because Allah knew. But they, just like Allah knows, will enter into Jannah, but we have to attain. He knows which of us will enter into Jannah. He knows that. But we have to attain it. Similarly, Allah knows who will become a prophet. and who will deserve and will give it to them. But they had to attain it as a human being. They had to attain it. They themselves didn't know it, or I'll be prophet one day. Otherwise it kills the purpose. It kills the purpose. Whether they deserve or not is questionable. That's why when Sallallahu was doing all of these things, he was doing it out of sheer human being. That's why it's so important for us to see Sallallahu as first and foremost as a human being before we see him as a prophet. When we read his seerah, when we read his history, when we read his life, read it as a human being. That's it. Don't read it as a prophet. Don't read it as him being a prophet. Read as him as a human. As a human, he went through losing his father. As a human, he went through losing his mother. As a human, he was sent out to the desert. As a human, he had his grandfather taking care of him, then his uncle taking care of him. As a human, he had to find his livelihood. That's why he became a shepherd. And then he became a tradesman. As a human. As a human, people will talk about you. As a human, you will have friends and colleagues. As a human, you will have a wife. All of these things. Read the seerah of Sallallahu as a human being. Watch how you begin to bond with him as a human. Whether you're a person from the street, whether you're a person from the elite, you'll realize that this man has something to give you. Not only in the akhirah, but in this dunya. And something great. Let's stop here inshallah. Any questions? They said after the age of, like between the age of 9 to 13, 14, that's the rough age for. Obviously he used to go with other elderly men in the beginning stage when they were young, and eventually when the more older you got, the more mature you got, they used to take them along. Any other questions?
Yeah, you mentioned that kids learn from 2 to 7 years old, 70%. So what should we focus on when we at that age?
Okay.
You mentioned the characteristics, but what about Quran and everything else, Islam and everything else?
Yeah, basically, see, how many kids today, they learn Islam and Quran and all of that at the young age? And when they grow, where does it go? Yeah, so that means something's going wrong, right? What's going wrong?
Is it society that they really grew up in, or the family that grew up in?
What do you think? Different things. Well, ask me the question. What do I think?
What do you think?
Good. If you do not create the greatness that already is within that individual to come out, then when you give something outward which is great, he'll not appreciate it. He'll not know what it is. If you don't know what you're looking for, you'll never attain it. Have you heard that phrase before? If you don't know what you're looking for, you'll never attain it. The kids, you're giving something they are not looking for. You're giving them something they are not looking for. What are they looking for? Play. Good. We don't give them that. Kids learn through play. Kids learn through play. Kids develop through play. Kids learn and become expert in skills through play. Let's say that again. Kids learn through playing. Kids develop through playing. Kids learn and become experts in skills through playing. Is that clear? Then once they play and they exhaust themselves in playing, and they are developing and they are learning, right? Then you teach them the theory. Then we teach them the Quran and the Hadith, and you say, I'll give you an example. Is life theoretical or practical? It's practical. The way we teach our kids, do we teach them in a way that the life is theoretical, not practical? What do you think?
Is that the pressure we give to the children, saying that we have to do this, you have to do that?
Memorize that. But then when they go out and they play, where is this memory? Where is this theory in their life? Is it practical? No. So if it doesn't make sense to them, like these theories that I learned with myself, where is this in my playtime? Where is it? Can you see? It's nowhere to be seen. Where is this in my life? It's nowhere to be seen. They don't witness it. So for them, it's and some kids ask that question, why am I learning this? Nothing will happen in the dunya for me with this. There's nothing for me to attain with this. There's nothing I get from this. So we're making Islam is the utmost practical living of life. When we have made Islam theoretical, then it has no life in its practical reality. Then they think this is don't waste of time. You kill them in the mind and in the heart. Then they learn for the sake of it, just to show you, please you. It's not coming from that. It's not coming from that. As soon as they have the authority to leave it, they will leave it. They may even fight to leave it. How many parents, kids come and say, my boss phone to get class. Which is them saying, Shrom lage to go to the masjid because I'm boss phone to this. That hatred for them to be taken away, how long does it take for that hatred to go away from the heart? 5 years? 7 years? 10 years? 15 years? 40 years? Maybe never sometimes. The hatred they had, the repulsion they had, it may take so long. In that 5 years, in that 7 years, they will be doing what? Everything against the theory. Which is what? Masjid, run away. Quran, run away. Lecture, run away. Books, run for further. Girlfriend, yes. Drugs, yes. Clubbing, yes. Wasting time, yes. Everything opposite of the theory they do. So are we smart? We're the dumbest people, sadly. The kids are wiser than us. Kids are saying in front of our face, I'm signing up for them. That's for you. And I feed them. Fita do kon kotodin for a is not okay. Maro and Bajan water. We're so short-sighted. And we try to be smart. I say this is a very important statement. And many of us, sadly, we think we're smart, but we're nothing but fools. I say, many people tend to be smart in the mind, but they don't be smart in the heart. And then what happens is they become, to the one who's smart in the heart, they become fools in the mind. You know, to the children, to the youngsters, we become, no, alhamdulillah, inshallah not me. But those people who have that mindset, they become fools. Fools. They hear one way this way and they come out from the other way. They don't listen to them. They forget obey. There's no attentive listening. They think they're most. Why? Because you're trying to be smart with your mind. They then play mind games with you. Eventually their mind games wins. Why? Why does their mind games win above your mind? You're smart, you're older, you're bolder, but your mind game loses with their psychology, with their mind. Why? Why? Why do you think it loses? Because their mind is going with practical reality. Your mind is going with something which is not reality, it's not practical. It's only theoretical. That's what they win eventually. Remember, reality, practical reality always wins. It's a dictation of theory. Does it work? Does it not work? Anytime a theory goes wrong, the measurement is a practical reality. Thus, the Prophet's theory, wahi, was then practically established to show that this theory can practically work. So going back to the Nasiyah, what do you do? Do you teach kids sitting down, teach them like that? No. You make them play most of the day, most of the week. Once they're exhausted from play, that's when you give them what? Time to learn, but you relate it with their play. You relate with the play. You relate it with their development. You relate it with the skill. You relate it with their, not responsibility, you relate it with their potential and greatness. I say that again. You relate it with their play. You connect it with the play. Yeah? So when they're playing football, you say, yeah, Bismillah. So when you go to play football, you say Bismillah. You tell them, now we're playing this to bond with our friends and colleagues, okay, and to see which one of us competitive, and also not swear and not lie. So you make whatever you learn, you make that part of the game, part of the play. It becomes real. Not only when we're sleeping, you say Bismillah, Alhamdulillah. No, when you're going out, when you're out and about, and then the most important thing, they see it in the real life of you as a mother, you as a father, you as a mentor, role model and teacher. They see it in you also, this really practical reality of what you are learning. And also you take them to Salah. Boys in the masjid, take them as early as possible. 7 is obviously you have to. Before that, take them as early. So as like 2 years old, take them in the masjid. 3 years old, take them in the masjid. See, back in the days, masjid doors were not closed like this. Boys and kids, they used to play around the masjid. They could see the masjid, come in, go out. That's why the boys' urine, for example, one of the reasons the boys' urine, you just sprinkle the water over it. You don't have to wash it. It's because the boys used to be carried around. It's to be carried around in the society. Boys, it's to be carried around. They used to go from sitting to sitting, place to place, place to place with their fathers, with their uncles. You see? Young age. So if there's urine, you only do sprinkle. Sharia came to lessen the impurity of the boys' urine because they were taken from place to place, place to place, from one arm to another arm, one arm to another arm. Take your kids out and about. Make the boys active. So and productive. So when they come home, they yearn to learn because this learning has a meaning outside. So when they go Salah, this Quran they're learning now has a meaning, practically has a meaning now. So when they recite Alif Ba Ta Tha, Alhamdulillah Alameen, say Allahu Akbar, they're reciting what? Alhamdulillah Alameen. See, it has a meaning now. It has a practical meaning in Salah. When you teach them Assalamu Alaikum, take them out. And they ask them Assalamu Alaikum to the elders, to your colleagues, to your friends. Your friends are saying Assalamu Alaikum to them. This is practical reality. When you teach them about adab of guests, take them out to be guests. Bring guests in for them to see how to deal with guests. When you have meetings, bring your kid in. Age 4, age 5, age 6, age 7. Bring them in your meetings. Bring them in. Let them play. Let this development. They will see how my father decides, how my uncle decides. And when they more grow, the more they begin to grow, give them more responsibilities. Little ones. Responsibilities. Never shun them. Never shun them. If they do something wrong, never tell them off with your tongue. Show them how to do it. Anas, 10 years he was doing khidmah to Sallallahu. Sallallahu didn't once say, why do you do this? Why do you do this? So once Anas went wrong, what did Sallallahu do? He showed it. He showed it to him. Anas did something wrong, Sallallahu went and did it in front of him, so Anas could see what Sallallahu was doing, how Sallallahu was doing, and then he would learn. Children learn. Kiss them. Children learn through observation rather than conversation. Write that down, brother. Try to note this down. These are key statements. Children learn through observation rather than conversation. When you converse with them, you go through this, come out through that. But when you show them, they learn. So we need to take the children out and about, play with them, hug them, kiss them, roll around with them. One other thing, a lot of people, inshallah, I'll be giving lectures how to develop children soon, inshallah. A lot of us, we don't emotionally hug them, kiss them as much. And if the more they grow, the more we less. The more they grow, the more you should show. Right? Until they reach the age of sort of maturity. But before that, hug them, kiss them, make them, sit them on your laps. And even after that, now and then a hug and kiss on the cheeks and hold them and so forth. Why? Especially if they done something wrong, remember this, if they done something wrong, or they made a mistake, and you rectified it, after that hug them and kiss them and as if nothing happened. As if nothing happened. Greatest leaders, my brothers, are produced when they make mistakes and they themselves acknowledge it whilst they are not being shunned. Greatest leaders are produced when they make their mistakes and they acknowledge it. They made a mistake, they acknowledge it. They rectify and they are not shunned. They become appreciative to the person who did that. Then they have that character, and then around people they become appreciative leaders, and people appreciate them also. There's nothing more of authority when people obey you out of appreciation. That's perfection of leadership. And you can't gain that unless you've seen people that who are your mentors, you made the mistake, you acknowledged it, they rectified it, or you rectified it, and they didn't shun you. Rather, they welcomed you. That's why look at Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. When Abu Sufyan came, Abu Sufyan fought Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Where? In the greatest of battles, Uhud, Ahzab. Greatest of battles, Abu Sufyan, born leader. Then he attained leadership of whole Quraysh. For Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. But when Abu Sufyan came before the conquering of Mecca, this last time say, oh, you fought me, you did this to me, you did that to me. So Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in Uhud, he bled due to Abu Sufyan and Khalid bin Walid. He bled. But did he mention these things? Did he mention it? No. Rather, he welcomed him. And then after he welcomed him, Abu Sufyan became Muslim. Did Sallallahu stop there? No. Sallallahu didn't stop there. Sallallahu went further and said, whoever enters the masjid will be safe. Whoever enters the perimeter of the masjid, they will not be harmed. And then Sallallahu said something very amazing. He said, whoever enters the house of Abu Sufyan, they will not be harmed. Did Sallallahu shun Abu Sufyan?
No, he appreciated and appreciated and appreciated him so much. So Abu Sufyan was like, whoa. When he went to Mecca, saw something, whoever enters the masjid, right, he'll be safe. His property, his land, everything will be safe. He will not be harmed. When he went to Mecca, did he say that first? Did he say whoever enters to the masjid, they'll be safe? You know what he began with? He began by saying whoever enters into the house of Abu Sufyan, they'll be safe. And they said, how many of us can enter in your house? Your house is not huge. Maybe 15 of us can enter. And then he goes, whoever enters into the masjid will be safe. He began with himself. Why? Because he acknowledged the appreciation of the true leader, Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He appreciated it. He appreciated it. Because Muhammad could have finished him off. You fought me. You fought me. Imagine someone fought you. Someone made you bleed. And now you have the power to finish him off. Front of your eyes. You can finish him off. You can just say to Umar. You know, Umar was standing there. Umar was there. Actually, in reality, he was there. He was like going around the camp. Like, you know, with his sword like this. Only Abbas stopped him. Umar was saying, let me finish him off. Imagine you have the authority and you got a friendly, a close friend to say, no, finish him off, khalas, he's finished off. But yet, Sallallahu didn't. He appreciated Abu Sufyan. And that made him more of a great leader. And that's when, you know, Abu Sufyan, after that, when he fought the Romans, Abu Sufyan eventually went, Abu Sufyan is old, he's not a young man. He's fighting at the age of 60 or more maybe, right? Against the Roman Empire. Was Sallallahu passed away this time. Sallallahu passed away. And 300,000 Roman against 30,000 Muslims. 300,000 against 30,000 Muslims. Abu Sufyan was one of the leaders of that army. He was old, but look at what he said. He went around, he goes, when Muhammad first got the revelation, we used to mock him because he used to say, we'll conquer Rome and we'll conquer Persia. We enlighten the world with this beautiful, just, fair, balanced, harmonious way of living. We used to mock him. Then we saw the truth and reality of it, and we were so late. We were so late, and he was sorry for himself. And he goes, now me, Abu Sufyan, will not allow these Romans to defeat us. Now he's a leader, an old man. When he said this, old man uttering this, but yet he's a leader. He inspired his army, inspired them. Inspired the youth, the soldiers. And therefore, bravely, as you know, they eventually won the battle. So the point I'm saying is, do not shun kids. When they make a mistake, show them how to do it. They will observe, they will learn. Show them again, show them again. Do not shun them. Let the greatness of there within them dictate them. And then give them the wahy, and then practicalize the wahy within their day-to-day life. And the best practice that they could see is when you are practicing it in your day-to-day life. جزاكم الله خير. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك. أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.